Have you ever gotten someone fired on purpose? I used to work in a small office straight out of college. It was the kind of place where everyone knew each other's coffee orders and shared memes and group chats. Things ran pretty smooth, at least until Tyler showed up. Tyler was the CEO's son, and it felt like he walked into the building thinking it belonged to him. He came in late almost every day, but nobody dared say anything. He parked in the spot reserved for our biggest client. He made interns fetch his lunch and bragged about doing deep work while watching Netflix on his second monitor. He didn't have a real title, but somehow his name showed up on all the big projects, even when he did nothing. It got worse when he started targeting me. I couldn't figure out why at first. Maybe he saw me as competition, or maybe he just liked messing with someone who couldn't fight back. He'd accidentally send me outdated files before client calls. He once replaced the numbers on my financial report and submitted it as a corrected version. When it nearly tanked a deal, he stood there acting confused, and I took the heat for it. The CEO pulled me into his office and told me I needed to tighten up. Still, I kept quiet. I told myself it was temporary. Just get through it. But then it wasn't just one mistake or one stolen idea. He took my biggest opportunity and made it his. I had spent weeks working on a proposal for a client we'd been trying to win for over a year. I stayed late, skipped weekends, and poured everything into it. The presentation was set for Monday. On Friday morning, I walked in early to make final edits and found out Tyler had already presented it. My name wasn't mentioned once. He claimed the work as his, right down to the opening line I'd rehearsed 100 times. That was the moment something inside me flipped. I didn't want to expose him. I wanted to ruin him, so I made a plan. Tyler often bragged about charging meals and drinks to the company card under client expenses. He was sloppy with receipts, always boasting that finance never looked closely. I created a fake vendor, something simple that sounded real. I built a bare-bones website, set up an email address, and made a few fake invoices. Then I used his office computer while he was at lunch. He never locked it. I created emails between him and the fake vendor. I attached the invoices and saved everything to a folder called Q3 Consultant Outreach. I left it right on his desktop like he was in the middle of something. A week later, I sent an anonymous email to our finance director. I claimed to have seen something odd in Tyler's expenses and suggested they look into his vendor activity. By Tuesday, it all blew up. The CFO called a surprise meeting. IT froze Tyler's access. They walked him into the conference room while everyone else tried to pretend they weren't listening. Voices started rising, and then the door swung open. Tyler stormed out, face red, clutching a handful of printed emails. He shouted that someone was setting him up and begged his dad to believe him. The CEO just stood there, silent, arms crossed. Then he told Tyler to go home while they sorted this out. Tyler didn't go quietly. He screamed about how unfair it was, about how nobody had his back. He knocked over a chair, slammed the door on his way out, and left the office in total silence. No one said anything, but that silence felt loud. The next day, his nameplate was gone. His access badges were deactivated. Rumors swirled. Some people thought he had been embezzling for months. Others believed he had enemies in upper management. No one looked at me. No one asked questions. The office got quieter, peaceful almost. I started getting invited to more meetings. A few weeks later, I got a quiet promotion, which was Tyler's old position.